All right, guys, good morning. It is a couple minutes here to the open. Then we're going to get rocking and rolling. Gold ended up holding at 61 and bouncing. Alrighty, there's the open. We'll see what the regular trading hours guys want to do. Be bumping up into resistance at 51.25 and 49.25 already traded. So really, if we can get above all of these yellow lines in the Dow, in the Russell, in the Nasdaq, in the S&P, then I think we got a good chance to trade, back up to maybe the prior day's highs. So if we can get above them all, then I don't think that's going to happen. It's going to be more of a choppy day. You're right, Rob. Going crazy. Coming up through that second test of 49.25 at 38% retracement from the extension. Like I said, these are the levels that need to get through. The higher time frame bias is bullish, so that's why I like to, continue to trade on that side of things, because I believe the bigger moves can happen. But if we lose these supports in the morning, of course, we could head lower. Here is the 51.25. Not something I'm selling into, something I'm looking to break. Want to confirm my bias. You can see that there's sellers there, right? So we just kind of backed off a bit. $51 quarter trades. I think we traded 49.5 there. Sellers home. So if we can break this extension short and do continue the bullish trend, you know, you're gonna have this 61 overnight highs, previous day's close, be like a major resistance level, and then we'll have those 66s again. This will be the tough area to get through, and if we do, then I think of the extended target would be on a very aggressive move all the way up at 28,876. It's Russell's. The Russell just once again weak. 59th trade, get down to 56s. Yeah, the financials have been really weak last few days, almost all of them. For what reasons, I do not know. Alright, the Nasdaq last market to get up for a first test, 75.12, 75, there it is in the Nasdaq. I feel like my thinkorswim is frozen. See. One of the important things is kind of deciding what you want to see happen before you want to take a trade, right? So like for me, most of my trades are like two-step processes. They're all if-then statements, like if we do this, then I want to do this. And in this case, for the morning, like if we break above the resistance, then I'd want to look long. Or the only other way, like you can trade this pretty aggressively, but you got to be realizing that like if you're going to get long 44s, you're not looking for anything more than 51.25. If you're looking for more than 51.25 from 44s, then you're really just, you know, you can be really stretching, or you have to be willing to give back all of your gains from this to that level. Value area high is going to be 28.60.75 and line up with the area we broke down from. I think that's the pivot point there, yeah. So the pivot point in the point of control are 48.25 on the pivot point of control, 49.5 on the pivot point. Definitely areas where you'd want to see it above Russell can't even get into value. So it's 41 quarters, or 51 quarter. Holding on. Give me a couple of economic reports today that moved the market. That housing report. So yesterday, Rob, I added twice. So I had a 3-point stop, add, 3-point stop, and then add it again. And I mean, you know, that's a very rare situation. Very rare. Because number one, you have to have like basically a trend day that you can add into that you're not getting pullbacks. And then, I mean, for us to perfectly hit the target I was going for, you know, basically I was able to get in that trade and add to it, then add to it, and then I added to it twice. So added to it twice, and then was able to really just hold all the way to the top tick. So, but I am using, I mean, there's really no difference between, well, I guess I'd say I use cash losses because I use like point losses. So I use a 3-point stop, which is basically like a cash stop. Yeah, I don't like, I mean, once I get some room, I begin using levels. Like when we're far away from my entry, I begin using levels to trail, because obviously your original stop should be far away. And yeah, this is a perfect short trade. I mean, every single one of those levels just, I mean, basically just tagged it. And gold ripped there. See what happens at the bottom of this range. We tagged 51 quarter. We tagged 59.5. We tagged 25,908. And the Nasdaq, we tagged 75.12. Yeah, let me share that over. Gold just ripped. Gonna complete that target. I mean, I get taken out and sometimes I get right back in, you know? So just because I get taken out on a level doesn't mean I won't take it for a second shot. But, I mean, I get taken out, I don't get taken out. It really just depends on the trade. I'm talking ES2, not the Nasdaq. The ES 3 points is pretty decent. Like, Nasdaq 3 points, you might as well just like throw your money in a donation bin. And the Russell breaks the 61. Russell just nothing but shorts. S&P is going to target down into 39s here. Yeah, I probably have to look at oil on a smaller time frame. Yeah, oil's getting aggressively sold into. Going down for completions. It's also the full halfway back long area for the S&P. But what we can do is that same anchor new low needs to break for longs to have anything. That was a perfect short setup. Same anchor new low. Oops. Awesome, Sean. Huge congratulations, dude. Keep practicing. It's going to take him probably like a week or two to set up your live account. I would keep practicing on a demo so you don't lose your rhythm. But yeah, man. You're funded. Alright, with these completions, it's time to draw the next moves. It's extensions in the ES and the Russell. The Dow hasn't actually completed. It's the next halfway back here in the NASDAQ. But this is also full halfway back long the ES. So full halfway back long, got a level here. We need to confirm this, otherwise, you know, old bears can take it down again. But that's your short target from this morning's draws. It's pretty quick. I haven't looked at that thing in a long time. Wow. That is a very big move. I'm gonna have to start trading that. And here is a Russell coming into that original support that I anticipated down here, but once again, there's no confirmation yet. You really just gotta be careful with longs. This reminds me of Wednesday. Like, we bid up and then bids dropped, and it was nothing but sellers. So, you know, right now, you just gotta stay out of their way. I have no idea when this will stop. We could come all the way back down to yesterday's bottom. Yeah, you can go extension to extension. I think we'll eventually pop up in that same anchor new low. But this is just a waterfall. And I mean, that's a lot of what we've seen, you know, these as soon as that trend starts, just do not step in front of it. We're coming back to like the Dow just erased basically all of yesterday's gains. It's crazy. The Dow is going to move into an extension here. Full halfway back is broken in the S&P. Just some whip. I mean, if we start losing yesterday's low, my goodness. This action is just officially If we can break, we need to hold below 38.75, otherwise we're going to go back up into the same anchor new low. But this is super extended down here. We're going to continue to go straight down. We need to go straight down below that level. This is basically where it's going to fight between longs and shorts. Take care, Rob. Appreciate everything, man. You've been here a while, bro. Extension to extensions holding. I don't know what to say if we get below yesterday's low, other than hold short. That would be very interesting. We'll see. Yeah, we could definitely head back to those 28.20s. We got a pretty big level at 23. But it's shorts until they break, no question. No, not today, Sean. start trading back above these levels, we're going to short cover up into the next resistance zone. Technically broke the extension, so it's bulls to hold here. It's halfway back long. But the Dow is holding, the Russell's holding. Let's see, the Nasdaq's held. A lot of action, you know, it's like I said, it's going back and forth. Definitely want to pay attention to this first extension here. should rally up into that 42.5 and then see what the market wants to do. Breaks is 61. So it really depends. So like intraday, Trevor, I'm watching the 5-minute chart and whatever the sequence is. So like sequences can be on really small time frames or they can be on really large time frames. Like for example, if you were looking for the sequence, you have to identify like what is the sequence. Like if I was looking at an hourly chart, I would have never been able to identify this extension short sequence. So then like I'll go to like a 1600 tick chart and then I'll see that, hey, there's once to target. Okay, there's twice. That's what I had up this morning. And then after we traded this, we had extension to extension, and then that extension traded. There's the break of the 61.8. That's a pierce, and then you can begin looking long. And then that would begin looking for no resistance until the previous anchor, because it's the only known anchor that I have that I saw sellers from. But you know, like a lot of times because this is a counter trend break, this can become choppy until we didn't trade the halfway back. So that's when I'll start, like when we break extensions, that's when I begin watching like Perry's internals. But we broke the extension to extension in the Nasdaq. We've technically broke it now in the Dow. The only one that hasn't broke is the Russell. The other thing I always like to think about is like, okay, why do we rally from this area? And let's go out to a daily chart. Let me just show you guys this. And I'm going to have to do this in all of the markets because I like to know. This extension that we had, that we rallied from yesterday, but yesterday it was drawn to, it was basically drawn to this high. We had a sloppy touch of the 50, and then we ripped. We made a new high. So you can take that, you know, normally I don't do this, but you can take that to the new high just to get a general area. We came down to that level. And if we hold this low, this should be a swing low. If we hold this low and can get back above 49s here, this should be a swing low. I mean, this is just, it's one of those markets. There's so much, people are shocked at what the Fed did the other day. And there is just, it's action after action. And you have to be, like, you have to see where we're going. Like this morning, I said, don't even look long unless we can get above. There was a support level. That support level traded right to our resistance. Resistance held, and we went straight down. Now, like, everything needs to be mapped out. Okay, resistance levels above 42 quarter, then 45.75. If we hold these lows, we should, go much higher. But if these levels hold and we can't break them, then we're going to go down to the next wave, and we're going to head down to 28.25. And there's multiple scenarios that can play out every single day. Every single day. And you have to be aware of them. I don't make sure that the bar closes necessarily. A Pierce, like especially intraday, a Pierce is a Pierce. Sometimes in the higher time frame, you will see a break and a close above, but don't use it as a rule of thumb. That's like the exception. Here's that 38.2. Can we move the extension higher in the TF even though it didn't hit the negative 23? Let me take a look. Which extension are you referring to? We came back to the full halfway back. So this is one of those situations like here, for example, that's 50% retracement. The Russell's just the weakest market. We tag this, we on the daily, we break the 61, we break the 61, but we close above it. And then again here, we dipped a little below. What happens is we'll trade it, and we'll just keep trading it until it like trades really, really clean, and then it'll rip. Yeah, I don't have an extension right now in the Russell in play to the long side. I mean, there is, let's see. There was this one that broke. This anchor. Yeah, I'm not sure, honestly, Jose. Like, you'll have to give me some dates and numbers for me to know specifically what you're talking about, but I mean, that's exactly what we broke, that move at lows, and this is why traders get caught up, because they don't understand that we broke that move at lows and there's nothing else to short into until we get to the higher time frame levels, and then it's a tape read. Like this morning, I mean, if we get back above 47s here, people are gonna get their faces ripped off. People got their faces ripped off to the downside. It's constant positioning. All right, everybody's long going into the morning. Boom, whack, whack 'em all, bang, bang. Hit him over the head, and then falls down, and then they get short, and then guess what? It's just like, that's what the market does. You have to, once you recognize that's what the market does, you start looking for that to happen. And when you start looking for that to happen, it becomes a little easier to trade. You have to understand where people, and Perry always says that, what's the path of least resistance? Where are people getting taken in and out of? Where's the pain? The pain was to the downside here. Now it's back to the upside. We'll see if that continues higher. We're at the next resistance level. 34s now is the level to watch below. We should not breach 34s, otherwise it's going to get really bearish. Right up to that 38.2. Sellers at 42.25. Dropping at 4 points so far. Yeah, I don't have the same anchor sequence in the Russell. I don't have that sequence. There's no new high in the Russell for that sequence. You can move it to the new high, or you can be aware. You want to be aware of both of those levels, because all you're looking for is a reaction. So you need to be aware of both of those levels. I moved it to the new high. 28.34 is a 38.2, and that's around the area. But without a break of the opposing move, it means nothing. It means nothing. I did draw it to the new high. My goodness. No bids. We're going down to 25s. We don't hold this 34. This 34 is like last bit of hope here. Wild first hour for sure. So Jose, just to be clear, if this is the hourly extension you're talking about from 27 like 82, 84 area, I did draw it to the new high, and that's where 28.34 is coming from. 28.34 like really starts slipping, that means that extension is probably not going to hold, and if that extension is not going to hold, you know, you can start thinking about where would the market break down to. It's just the thing that's interesting about all of this, and you know, it's important. Basically, during the Fed meeting on Wednesday, Jerome Powell came out and said, buy stocks with both hands. We're not going to let the market go down because we're not going to raise interest rates. Interest rates have been the driving factor of this market for the last 10 years. And if he's now saying, you know, aggressively saying that he's not going to raise interest rates and the market's not going higher, I think that's really bad. Like, that means good news is bad news. That extension held perfectly. You really gotta be on with the bearish bias here until something prove. I mean, the Russell. We broke the aggressive extensions and then just traded into the same anchoring low. Unless we can get above 49s right now, the bulls do not have control of this trend. On the daily, I do that, Jose. On the daily, I do that. And once again, you have to look for confirmation. You know, I like to make myself aware of those levels, and then I'll look for confirmation of the break of the opposing trend. If we have a break of the opposing trend off of a major level like that, then I can anticipate that, hey, maybe we're going to go back up to that target. It's all just kind of picturing where things could go based on where they stalled from or where they rallied from. And you can see coming down here, like that first test, there was really nobody home. We traded at 38.2, and then I drew up this box down at 34s, and now we're holding it. Which, like, I mean, the bulls need to hold that. And that's on the daily time frame, because like that starts slipping, like I'm picturing basically this pattern resolving to the downside, and what that could mean, you know, and that could mean a full pullback to like 27.95s. All right, guys, it's 9:30 here. I'm off the mic. I'll catch all of you guys who did the MLT Pro Trader in those mentorship classes. Make sure to write down your questions. Feel free to bring certain examples. The more detailed the specific question is with examples, the better. The easier it is for me to answer. So that being said, everybody have a fantastic weekend. And Eric will be here on Monday. Thank you guys. Best of luck. Keep crushing it. Keep working on it. And never give up, guys. I'll miss you guys too. Take care.